Nickelback, and you're listening to Heard It on the X.
Hi, folks. Welcome back to Heard It on the X, the East Coast premier music talk show. My name is Rich Rogenmoser. We're kind of going over best of 2010, a short version of it.
Yeah.
Some cool stuff. Nugent was cool. I mean, he's just insane. I love
nuts.
how you ask him a question.
And it ends up just not being anything to,
It's like 10 minutes. I almost think he has pre-planned things that he wants to talk about in his head. And you could say, hey, Ted, what's your favorite car? And he'll talk about politics, anything he wants. It doesn't matter the question. He needs to forward his agenda. But the one thing I got to say, too, is he was super great to us. The lovely Kim Marie and myself went down there to Cleveland to see him down there.
Down there.
And we hung out with him for a while, and he started playing, and his set was amazing. And at one point I told Kim Marie, I'm almost embarrassed, and she goes, why? And I said, because he's famous for so many reasons. I mean, he's a political advocate, he's a hunting advocate, he's an NRA advocate, he's famous for all kind of different stuff. But you forget the real reason why he's famous is he is an amazing guitar player.
He is.
And his show was incredible. It was just a lot of fun. A lot of fun. You got to hang out in Bruce Springsteen's dressing room. It had to be a highlight of.
We talked about, how, you said how lucky we are to do this stuff.
Yeah.
And probably the luckiest thing that I've gotten to do because of the show is hung out with Springsteen in Springsteen's dressing room. And that was just phenomenal. That was the coolest thing ever.
And you got to answer the question that we've asked for years: are Springsteen Doritos better than
Springsteen,
like Wegmans Doritos?
Springsteen was munching on the Doritos in the dressing room.
Did they taste better? Is there some kind of special Springsteen blend of spices and stuff, or
See,
he's just
Rich, the Doritos are from Asbury Park, New Jersey. Asbury Park, that's where you get the best Doritos.
Is it true? Is that true, Bruce? You get
yeah.
better ones from Asbury Park.
They were. It said on the side. It said Asbury Park Doritos.
And no kidding.
Yep.
So, well, that's good though.
Don't lay a finger on my butterfinger.
All right, I think Bruce has lost his mind. But that was cool though that you got to hang out with him.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the funniest things about this story is. You and I are both Springsteen fans.
Yeah.
I'm a humongous Springsteen fan, but a Springsteen fan since, really, since the early 70s when I was a young kid.
Yeah.
And luckily my older brother was into him, so I was able to, to be exposed to it real early. But for the show, the Joe Grishecki show that you went down there,
Yeah.
I bailed out. Kim Marie and myself bailed out. You were driving down.
The story is actually funny. I was driving down to Pittsburgh. You had told me about the show. The show was really underground.
We were going to get exactly. It was
only for 2,000 people. It was a really underground show. So I'm driving down to Pittsburgh. We had Max Weinberg on earlier in the year. We were going to try to run Max's interview. I don't know if we're going to have time.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But Max was a great interview, speaking of great interviews.
And Max is a great guy, too. He was so much fun. And the cool thing, and I don't mean to derail what you're talking about, we'll go back to it. I thought a lot of times when you get these guys on, especially Max was doing his own thing, that big band he was touring, and you're kind of almost nervous to ask them about the reason why they're famous, Max wasn't that way at all. He was like, hey, this is Max Weinberg from the E Street Band, and the E Street Band is this, and I do this with the E Street Band, and when I play with, that's really cool. Billy Sheehan was that way, too. When we talked to Billy Sheehan, he only wanted to talk about his time in Buffalo. So, it's kind of cool, the way these guys think of themselves, too. But anyways, you're going back to this story.
But so, you had told me, I believe it was like a week and a half prior, because it was, a short, when they announced it.
Right, he was playing in Pittsburgh with Joe Grishecki.
Yeah,
he had produced Joe Grishecki's album.
Yeah, so you had said to me, I remember, you were like, did you know Springsteen's playing in Pittsburgh next week? And so, we went on, tried to find tickets. I found myself tickets. You and Kim Marie were going to try to come down, couldn't make it down. But I had been in contact with Joe Grishecki's publicist and stuff. So I'm driving down to Pittsburgh, and I get a call from you that Joe Grishecki's publicist had called you, and I was possibly going to get backstage at Springsteen. So,
They actually emailed the lovely Kim Marie while you were on your way down.
Yeah, and so I start driving a little faster to Pittsburgh because I got to get there. It was sort of a, short planned thing that just kind of came up, and it all came together, and it was just really cool.
And what was really cool, too? They basically have you go to the side of the stage to get backstage. And she just grabbed you and yanked you backstage and gave you carte blanche to, you're sending me texts like I'm completely walking around.
Yeah.
Unbridled backstage.
Once I got backstage, it was, just free reign.
Yeah.
So I had gotten there. sort of hung out, by the side. She walked past and just kind of, grabbed me and was like, "Here, come over here." So, once I got past that, it was just free reign. There's food everywhere. They had like original Springsteen albums, the vinyls and stuff out on the buffet table. It was just lined with Springsteen stuff too. And I'm like, can I take these? But so after I'm just walking around, and actually, what's his name? Bill Guerin, the hockey player. He plays for the Penguins. Down in Pittsburgh. He's just walking around backstage with me, and I'm just hanging out with Bill Guerin, and I end up just walking in Springsteen's dressing room, waiting for Springsteen to come along, and
It's so funny too because this is the first time I heard about Bill Guerin.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you.
You didn't even tell
Bill
me this.
Guerin was there. But I'm just hanging out, and Springsteen's Takamine guitars just sitting there. I'm looking for the famous,
the Tele Esquire.
The famous Esquire guitar. But it was just a really cool thing, and I got to see something that not a lot of people get to see. Is Springsteen before a show? What he did was, I don't know if he does this with the E Street Band or whatever, but he walked in. The rest of the band was in a room. I don't think I ever told you this story, but the rest of the band was sort of in the room munching on Doritos.
Yeah.
But and he walks in and he's like, "All right, boys, you ready to give him a show tonight?" And he's talking to him, getting them all pumped up, and it was like really cool. Yeah, he almost looked like a football coach.
Like a football coach,
walking in, getting his guys all pumped. But it was the coolest thing watching Springsteen, before a show, and he's getting these guys pumped, and and he talks to him, and he said that, and then he just grabbed his guitar, walked out on stage and started playing. It's hard to find a good man in Pittsburgh.
And it's now, if you rating that show, was it a good show?
Oh,
great show?
It was a great show. We had talked before that we didn't really know what the show would be like because he wasn't playing with his own band.
Right, he was basically support of.
Yeah, he was.
Joe Grishecki.
With his friend Joe Grishecki's band. But like I said, the show started with him doing 3 acoustic songs by himself. Then Joe Grishecki's band came out, did 2 songs, and the rest of the night Springsteen was with them. They did tons of Springsteen tunes, lots of rare Springsteen tunes, Fire, a lot of stuff that ended up coming out on The Promise. That's where they debuted Save My Love. Mm-hmm. So, I got to hear the first time that they ever played Save My Love. So it was a lot of fun, and it was really, really cool and a great show. And then actually, because, Springsteen, and he won't stop playing until, he can't walk anymore. So the rest of the band, finished, and he actually did this twice. At the end of the encore, he made them do another song, and then they left, and he signaled to his guitar guy, and he told him to bring the acoustic, and he did Thunder Road acoustic to end the show. So it was just really
It's
cool.
just a great show. Yeah. So that's cool. And like you said, we've been able to do a lot of cool stuff because of the show, and we anticipate having even a better year. I want to remind everybody, well, first of all, I want to make sure that we once again say Happy New Year to everyone.
Yes, and thank you to everyone that has made the show such a success.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say. Thank you so much to all our listeners, and, especially to Sharon, who's our #1 fan.
Yeah, she listens to every broadcast, memorizes everything.
And it's amazing how many people do listen to the show and how many people stop us and say stuff. And it's very nice, and we want to thank you very much. We're looking forward to a great year. I want to remind everybody about the NAMM special, which is going to be huge, huge, huge. This is going to be such a cool show. Right from the NAMM convention sales floor, we will be broadcasting. That's going to happen in 2 weeks on Sunday. I also want to remind everybody that the Music Exchange, we didn't take a lot of time this week, but the Music Exchange, we have everything on sale this week. So richesmusicexchange.com or stop in at 4514 Camp Road to the Music Exchange, and we will have tons of deals. Anything that you're looking for, we got deals. We need to make room because I am going to the NAMM convention and going to be buying a lot more gear.
Yeah, you come back from the NAMM convention sort of like Santa. You just got a big bag over your shoulder of just new gear.
Exactly.
And
it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. Usually the industry this time of year, all the new stuff's out there. Everyone's banking on the new stuff, but it's been a real soft economy. So it's going to be interesting to see what the new gear is going to be. And of course, we're at the end of another show. On behalf of the lovely Kim Marie, Matt Beatus, who's in studio with us.
The Beatus is in studio.
The doctor and myself. Happy New Year. We'll see you next week. And remember, folks, if you heard it on the X.